to Detroit in black and white. I'm Adolph Mongo, and here we are live at McShane's on Michigan and Trumbull. Joining me today, political consultant and attorney Vanessa Moss. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning. Good morning to Detroit and black and white viewers. Good morning, Allan. Good morning, Adolph.
Good morning.
If you're watching this morning, we're here at McShane's on the corner of Trumbull and Michigan Avenue. We would like for you to like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share.
Well, come on down. This is a great place to have a drink and eat some good food. Allan Lengel, co-founder of Deadline Detroit, by the way, of the Washington Post, Detroit News, and the Eagle American. How you doing, Allan?
I'm all right.
So what's going on? Let's go. Let's get right to it. Vanessa, ladies first. Outrage of the week.
So last week I was going to talk about this guy, and he's like the gift that keeps on giving. Who you guys think I'm talking about?
Tim Scott, right?
I'm talking about Tim Scott.
Uncle Tim.
Oh goodness, I wouldn't call him that, but
yeah, I'm calling him that.
Wednesday during the debate, he struck a chord, and I really think that what he's doing is he's playing to those people who support the guy who used to occupy the White House. This guy stood there and said that, black folks survived slavery. Well, it's a lot of black folks that died in slavery. There was a lot of black folks that didn't make it. There was a lot of black folks that families were fractured as a result of slavery. He talked about poll taxes, etc. And he indicated that the greatest demise would harm African Americans is Lyndon Baines Johnson's program, putting money into Social Security, taking the man out of the house so a single woman can get a check. That's a bunch of bull crap. That is outrageous that you would have the nerve to stand on that stage and pander to
That's
these
the
people.
Exact word, pander.
Pander to these people at the cost of our people. Outrageous. I was going to talk about him last week he pissed off because they asked about his marital status. Dude, get a life. Get a life.
Let me interject. He said there's nobody business who he sleeps with or go with, etc. Yeah, I say he's right. But it's not his business to tell a woman that she can't go take care of a physical problem with her body, or she can't travel outside the state. You know what? Remember the fugitive slave law of 1850s, where they said, okay, whether you free or not, that any person has a right to go up north and snatch black people and bring them back down south.
Right.
This is what they're saying about the abortion. So he is a real hypocrite and asshole.
He really is. And let me say this. For him to be pissed off because they asked about his marital status, it's ridiculous. If that's what you are, then say that's what you are. Stand on who and what you are. But you can't be
anti-gay and be gay.
Exactly.
You gay, but you don't want nobody to know about it, and then you act like you
anti-gay.
Such
a hypocrite. Dude, you're not, you know what? You're not going to win. And then, of course, those people over at Fox was praising him. Get a life.
Listen,
you're in trouble when the people at Fox are praising you.
Well, the same people that praised Booker T. Washington when he gave the speech saying that, you know what, Jim Crow was all right, as long as we can have a job and do what we need to do. Right. Okay, go ahead, Allan. What's your outrage?
Well, I'm going to say one of the things while watching that debate, which is just pathetic. I mean, Fox did not have control over the debate. People were talking over each other and they couldn't shut people up. But Mike Pence, who's just, I think, just such a simpleton. He talks about, he's like, I've got the solution to all these mass shootings. He goes, the death penalty. We have to make it a death penalty. And I'm saying, what guy who's out of his mind who goes in and does a mass shooting thinks, oh no, I might get the death penalty. Every single person that goes into that scenario can assume that there's a good chance they're going to get killed. They're going to get shot by police showing up or whatever. So the idea that, oh my gosh, there's a death penalty. I mean, the guy, that's why government is so fucked up. It's such a simpleton approach to everything. It's so screwed up. The other thing is, you know, and here I could play a little bit of this with Donald Trump came to Michigan. First of all, he's there supporting labor, and he's you know, and the union guys who are on strike, and he shows up at a non-union shop. There were mostly
Right.
look. Joe Biden showed up on the picket line. He was welcome there. If Trump had showed up to the picket line, I guarantee you there'd be some people who would not be very receptive. And so he had a very controlled environment, a non-union shop. And here,
Now, well, let me ask you this: do you think Biden's environment wasn't controlled?
well, control,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
but in a
All
different,
right.
but
He had
His-
on his
not-
depends.
Right? No,
He had on,
I'm not
he
going
had
there
on
with
his
you.
depends.
I'm not going there with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You
Both of
cannot-
them.
no.
Both of them. We
I'm
got
not
two.
going
We
there
got
with
two
you.
people running for
And
office.
that's okay.
And both of them, one is crippled in the brain, one is physically challenged.
But let me say this: when is it that it's okay for us to start beating up on people that are older because of their
When
age?
they can't drive, you
Wisdom-
take the keys
Wait
from
a
them.
minute.
You
Listen,
take the keys
But
from
you don't beat
somebody.
up on them.
No, you don't,
You
beat,
don't beat up
up
on 'em.
but you take the keys.
well,
You
here's-
take the keys. They can't drive. They can't see. They having problems. You take the keys.
Are you trying to imply that the president of the United States does not
I haven't
drive
said
because
all
of
that. He is
Okay,
the best.
all
He's got a
right.
He's the
Corvette.
best.
Okay.
He's the
drives
best.
his
He's the
Corvette.
best.
All right, go
He's
ahead
the
and
best
finish.
of the two.
But anyways, I wanted to show here was Trump's appearance here, and the thing that really bothered, he's on a campaign against electrical vehicles, which is not the end all solution. There are problems. The electrical vehicle one is super heavy. It damages the road. It's super heavy that for the lighter cars, it's a danger to the lighter cars out there in a collision, and there.
So are you saying you're not going to get an electric?
No, I'm for the electrical cars, but I'm saying there are some concerns that, and then the other thing is what it takes to make the battery. They're going to third world countries and raking the land and creating a lot of environmental issues there, and so those are issues that have to be addressed at some point. So it's not the end all, but that's where everybody is going. That's the direction. Here is Trump. He's like, he would be the guy who'd be like, we can't get rid of the horse and buggy right now. Cars, screw the cars. The horse and buggy industry is going to fall. So here's Trump's little appearance.
Yesterday, Joe Biden came to Michigan to pose for photos at the picket line. But it's his policies that send Michigan auto workers to the unemployment line. He only came after I announced that I would be here. You know, he announced quite a bit later. Spoke for a few seconds. Did you notice he spoke for what, a few seconds? And he had absolutely no idea what he was saying. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what we were saying. Where am I? He's saying, where am I? Oh, you're in Michigan. Oh, that's great. What do they do in Michigan? They grow wheat in Michigan, he said. Don't they grow wheat? No, that's Iowa and other places. Biden's cruel and ridiculous electrical. Think of this. He wants electric vehicle mandates that will spell the death of the U.S. auto industry. You know, it doesn't matter. I watch it. You're negotiating a contract. You're all on picket lines and everything. But it doesn't make a damn bit of difference.
I mean, look,
Oh,
the electrical
man.
vehicles, there are less parts in electrical vehicle than in it. So yes, there will be less jobs eventually, but it won't eliminate all jobs. And the thing is, he's trying to crusade against electric vehicles, which is just insane. I mean, look, Tesla is way ahead of the game. Tesla's ahead of GM. They're ahead of Ford. They're ahead, you know.
Isn't that his boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the idea that he's crusading against that and trying to tell the workers, like, do not, you know, let's be anti electric vehicle. It's just insane. The guy's he's assuming that everyone's stupider than him. That's his assumption.
Well,
which he
the people
operates, and
that
he could be
support him
right.
are. The people that support him, they the dumbest motherfuckers in the world. Ain't no question. Now, my outrage of the week is to all those people that was trying to push 90-year-old Senator Dianne
Oh my gosh.
Feinstein
Yeah.
out Well, they got their wish. She beat them to the punch. She went and died on everybody. But now it's up to the governor of California.
Right. He says he's not going to appoint anyone who's running.
He's a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is you put somebody in there that you think that can win. See, they playing this game here in Michigan where they want to freeze people out. So what's her name? Stabanon said, well, you know what? I'm leaving, but I'm not going to step down.
I'm going to wait until
because
my term is over.
They anointed Alyssa Slockin as the heir apparent. Listen, you got somebody you want to put in there, put him in there. Or he can appoint himself and run again. But if I was appointed in that position by him, soon as I got in there, I said, I'm running. You know what? He can't kick you out. But you know, Democrats, they the most hypocritical assholes in the world. When they got control, they do nothing. They don't do anything. Republicans get in control, scorch earth policy. They burn everything down. They don't care who they hurt or how much money they steal. And then when Democrats have a chance, you got the progressives over here, you got the Joe Manchins over here, you got the nut out of Arizona who say, oh, well, I think I'm a switch parties or whatever they're going to do. So that's my outrage.
And also, I forgot to mention James Craig, who's got his nose so far up Trump's ass. It's like, here he tweeted the other day, he says, the auto industry is being assassinated. He's tweeting all Trump's statements. He says, the Biden administration's obsession with electrical vehicle will kill manufacturing jobs in Michigan. He's quoting Trump. And here's his quote. Personally, he says, if you want an EV, that's fine. Personally, I won't be caught dead in one.
Watch, he be riding one down Jefferson. And when somebody going to try to hijack him, he'll jump out or whatever they going to do. I hope he get his signatures because you know what? If he gets smacked in the face
who's
again.
in that field? They're talking
Mike
about
Rogers.
Mike Rogers and possibly Meyer.
Yeah.
And that's
Peter
it.
Meyer.
Is that it?
So far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's a pretty strong, I mean, the problem is Peter Meyer, Trump's going to do everything to make sure he doesn't. Mike Rogers, I think, is a moderate. He's not going to be a Trumper.
Former FBI agent.
Yeah, he's not going to be a Trumper, though. And so the question is, in 2022, Trump knocked out every reasonable Republican candidate and put the extremists in there, and they all lost.
Right.
Couldn't happen to some nights.
Except, John James. I think John James seemed to be kind of neutral about Trump.
I want to see how John James.
If
I wonder if he voted to cut Austin, the defense secretary, salary to $1.
Right.
Because he come from the military.
Right.
He's in a district that can go either way.
Right.
So he had to be careful about how he vote and what he do. He gonna find himself.
He's been kind of quiet. He's been kind of quiet.
He can't help it. Because he know he can't say anything.
Right.
But he's still the people that support him. They cocky. They don't think anybody can beat him.
Right.
We'll see. We're gonna take a break.
He barely won.
Go ahead.
He barely won.
But he won. It don't
matter. Razor thin.
He won by one vote. He won.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a break and we'll be back.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020. You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Yeah. All right, we are back.
Join. That's why we can introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, my name is Anemashaun Bomani. I'm a co-chairman of Malcolm X Grassroots Movement here in Michigan. and part of something called the Black Legacy Coalition.
And what is when you talk about the Malcolm X movement? Tell us a little bit.
Well, Malcolm X
about
Grassroots
that.
Movement was an organization started by attorney Chokwe Lumumba.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember him.
Yes.
And he passed. Oh, I'm sorry. He
He
passed in 2014.
His son is
His son, the mayor
of
of
Jackson,
Mississippi now.
Right.
Yeah, catching some serious hell.
I know. He know where he's at, though.
You know where he at, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, Black Legacy Coalition, I'm just a member of that, but they were formed when they decided to gentrify the African American Museum. So, we've just kind of been protesting the fact that they no longer really allow the kind of programming that we had prior to the new CEO.
And when you say gentrifying, what can you elaborate
Well,
on
basically, if you understand, they told us that our program was too black, and we couldn't have it there anymore.
And what were when they say too black?
Well, we had
what
Kwanzaa, we had Kwanzaa every day. The whole week of Kwanzaa, we had it every day. They cut it down to one day, and said that's all we really deserve. We used to have several programs there. African Liberation Day. We had several jazz programs with spoken word artists and young spoken word artists. Yeah, we had a lot of great scholars.
Who's the new CEO?
His name is Neil Barclay.
Where did he come from?
They said he came out west somewhere. I'm not sure, like Arizona or something like that. But they said the museum they came from, they basically ran him out, and it failed. So he wanted to turn the African American Museum out there into an art museum and not really deal with any cultural issues.
Do we know how this museum was created? It was an idea of one person, and then it spread into the community,
Right.
and it was the brainchild of the late Coleman Young, who
Right.
said, you know what, we need something bigger than your house that you got on the boulevard.
Right.
So they
Right.
built the first one,
Right.
and then the mayor looked at it and said, oh, that don't work. We need to do another one,
Right.
So to take it and then just turn it into what?
Well, basically, it's just an art museum. Well, first problem we had with it is when they brought in the Thomas Jefferson exhibit, and they made it seem like, well, what happened to Sally Hemings? She was just his girlfriend, and there wasn't any serious issues with him, or
He raped her.
Right. That's what we said. That's what we said. Wow. Anyway, they actually brought in some black family members who really tried to, I guess they tried to justify the fact that we had the museum there. And then somebody wrote a book about him and Sally Hemings. I can't remember the name of the book really. To me, it was ridiculous trying to justify rape.
Well, but you know what? All they had to do was read the first book by what is his name, William Wells Brown, who wrote Clotel, the story of Jefferson back in the 1850s about what Jefferson did with his slaves and that sort of thing. What kind of action are y'all trying to take now?
Well, we have been protesting. We asked to be on the board. We did have a member who was part of the. We did have a member that was part of the board, but he passed away, and they have not replaced him at all. We've been trying to get them to replace. Joanne Watson actually was one of the members, but she passed away, and we've been just trying to protest and get people on the board who are part of the community. And they don't seem to want to have anybody on the board.
Who else is on the board?
Well, I know this guy's name. I don't know his name. I know he's like former president of GM, one of the black executives of GM. He basically told us that a lot of our programs really were just too
black, so they want to whitewash it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, is the mayor really running the thing behind the scenes?
Well, yeah, it was really Scott Benson, but Scott Benson's being controlled by the mayor.
Okay.
And they try to recall Scott Benson, by the way. They're doing a pretty good job, actually.
Oh,
Vanessa says we need to speak a little louder.
Yeah, Bomani, you're so soft
right.
spoken. You're such a gentleman. So we need you to speak louder so
Okay.
our audience can hear both of
Yes.
you.
All right.
Okay.
So we can.
It's fine. You and Adolph, I don't know what you guys do.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, like I said, we're trying to recall Scott Benson, who is controlled by the mayor, and he's on the committee that controls the money that goes to the African American Museum. So we're fighting on a lot of different fronts, but we're fighting.
Okay, who's recalling?
Well, the name of the group is called Recall LLC. And basically, it's some people from 3rd District, Ramon Jackson. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's been around a little bit.
No.
He's been confronted City Council about this bond issue and the illegal things that they're doing. And another person who's been down there too is a guy named Malik Shelton, who's been in court for some of the illegal things that the city of Detroit, and he claims that Mike Duggan is doing. So, along with some people who are part of, I live in District 4, but there are some people in District 4 who are helping the people in District 3 to try to recall Scott Bettison.
Okay. Have y'all talked with anybody from the administration about the concerns at the museum?
Yeah, we tried to talk to Mary Sheffield, who don't apparently have a clue. And we've also, like I said, we have tried to talk to Scott Bettison. We were at a meeting with Scott Bettison a couple of weeks ago. We actually told the people, don't sign the petition to recall him. Just flat out said, don't sign the petition. So we have talked to, and I have a pretty good relationship with Letitia Johnson, even though I had problems with her. She's over District 4. And I don't think she lived up to what she promised when
she came across as somebody that's going to shake up the council and not the business as usual.
Right.
But you've been around long enough to know that people run on a different platform, and then when they get in the office, they turn into the people that they was trying to unseat.
Exactly. Well, I always thought she was kind of weak. I ran for that seat too in District 4, and I told people she's weak. And I have a history. I worked for Kwame Kenyatta. I was a good friend of Chuck Williams Woman. So I'm more of a activist, on the ground kind of activist. She's kind of a mild-mannered person. I thought she was way too nice, personally. Not the kind of person that needs to be downtown to fight the administration.
But she had talked about going up against the Gilberts and everything.
But she took money from them.
Yeah, right. And it's
what I tell you.
And she said she was going to give it back, and she ain't give it back.
She's not giving it back. Do you think it's going to give it,
right.
Give it back? I'm just saying she said she was going to give it back. So don't lie. When you know
I think that to me, the consul is still not strong enough. I mean, it bothers me so much that we talk about, Coleman Young Jr., who I really had some hopes for.
He's worthless.
He hired his mother as the chief of staff at $87,000. There's another council member who hired her daughter. It's the same BS that's going on year after year. It's
right.
It's shameful.
Somebody gonna wind up going to jail like they did probably the last time. Like Sam or some of the other people who have had some jail time.
Okay, so what's the next step in all this?
Well, the State of the City address, we had one several months ago, and we talked about some of the issues, and a lot of the people on there were there. We had a few more people, but these are the people that we decided to have come back. Anthony Adams is the moderator of this program, and we're going to talk about solutions.
Is he running for mayor?
He won't make that commitment right now.
That's why people can't win, because people don't want to make a commitment.
When he said he don't have no money.
They don't want. You see, the whole point. Well, the whole point of it is, it's about money, but it's about getting out there front first.
Right.
It's about being the loyal opposition. It's about a whole lot of things. But then we got these folks say, I don't know what I'm going to do. Then 2 months before.
Anthony Adams did not, I don't know how good of a candidate he is. I'm not saying one way or another, but he did not carry out a very effective campaign.
It's about money.
And Duggan did this thing that Trump is doing. He didn't want to debate. He just said, no, he's going to be talking trash or whatever. Well, that's what candidates do.
Well, he didn't want to debate. He didn't want to debate because the last time he debated against Coleman Young, kicked his ass all the way around the table. So he's not a very good debater.
Right.
But when you got all the money and everybody is saying we can't change horses in the middle of the race because they got a lot at stake. That's why you got to go after these folks.
Right.
Who else you got on here?
Well, we got Malik Yakini, who is doing work with the food justice issue here in Detroit. The fact that there's no large supermarkets here, and he's actually building a healthful co-op supermarket on East Euclid and Woodward.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you, when you say that, I mean, actually yesterday I was just by the Meyer at 6 and Grand River.
Right.
And then there's one at 8 and Woodward, which are pretty massive.
Right. But they're not
stores.
down in the city of Detroit like Euclid and Woodward is.
Right, true.
You know, that's a little bit different situation. And it gives a chance for people in the neighborhood, maybe people who don't have cars, can't get around, can't afford an Uber. You know, that's a make it, and plus it's for people who are more into health.
And then they got those gas stations who just take advantage of folks that can't go anywhere.
And the liquor stores.
Right. They shouldn't be grocery stores and gas stations to me. They should be grocery stores and liquor stores.
But that's a city issue.
I know. That's a city.
You know what? You scared to even drive into one of these gas stations at a certain time.
Exactly.
Because they got people out there. Oh man, you don't know what you're going to confront. They don't care if you have a police uniform on. Some of them.
Well, Marvin Wine found that out, didn't he?
Sorry. You mean the guy that's building the church that's never gonna be completed in our lifetime?
Right.
I saw a gas station last night that probably gas was $3.23. It was on Grand River and somewhere, and I'm just like, I'd love to stop in there, but it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I'll pay more money and
I mean, you really shouldn't buy gas that late, but they tell women not to. Really, you can't tell anybody. You tell everybody.
Nobody needs to buy gas at 11 o'clock.
Well, unless you're low, unless your car's
stop
low.
driving around. You need to fill it up.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, this is today at 3 o'clock.
It's today at 3 o'clock from 3 to 6.
You got Helen Moore. Listen, Helen been in the fight for how long? Long as we've been alive.
And how can people watch this?
She's like 80 something now. So
and she's still raising hell.
She's still raising hell with the Detroit Public School, which is a lot to raise hell about, as far as I'm concerned.
And how can people watch this? Can they watch it on YouTube
or
or
anything? It's supposed to be live streamed through a black television service called IPTV.
Okay, I know.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
His name is Tim Moore. So he always.
I know Tim.
Yeah.
And then you got a person I thought that should have been on the council. Monica Lewis Patrick.
Absolutely.
Go listen, because I don't think she
wanted to run.
You don't think she wanted?
I don't think she wanted to run. I think they tried to.
They got her. You know what? They wouldn't let her use her uncle's name. You know who her uncle is, right? Willie Horton.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Willie Kids was like, you bet not. He was under the weather. You bet not use his name.
Why?
Why? Listen, who knows?
Well, she's got quite. She's got quite a reputation around the city of Detroit.
Right.
She's got a strong presence. I think Joanne was supporting her.
Yeah, that was her candidate. That was her candidate. And sum it up. Tell us again.
Oh, okay. It's to say this city, we're trying to provide solutions. We talked a lot about the problems that we had last time, and this time we decided that we're going to try to get solutions, try to get people to get involved, then join some kind of organization like Farrakhan used to tell them. You need to join something. You can't really do much by yourself.
What number can they reach you at?
313-30.
I'll put it on here.
Okay.
313.
304-3915.
3915.
Yes.
Okay.
We pretty much set already. We got our vendors and our speakers are all set.
Does that look like the right number there?
That's the right number. Yes.
Okay.
So hopefully everybody will come out, and help us provide solutions. Join some kind of organization to do something, and instead of thinking that you really can kind of do stuff by yourself. I don't think people really can do that much by themselves.
Well, we're gonna have to have you back.
Okay, I'll come back.
Thanks a lot.
Let Vanessa know. All right, nice to meet you finally in person, Mr. Mongo.
Thank you.
All right, glad to be here.
Let's take a break.
All right.
Thanks, Bomani.
All right,
no
Bomani.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020. You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Austin on the
Yeah,
side?
yeah,
Hello.
you sit in the middle.
Who's
All right,
sitting
we
there?
are
Joe, where you gonna
we
sit?
are back here. We are back on the air. Thanks so much. All right. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, you know what? Let
You
me do
wanna-
the honor of
All right.
introducing
Okay.
my friend. We went to law school together.
Okay.
Next, we have Jo Irby, who is a veteran, United States Army. She served for 28 years. She's also a lawyer, and she's here to talk today about veterans claims and how she can help veterans with their claims.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. Good. I'm glad you're here. Glad
Okay,
you made
thank
it.
you.
So,
I'm so proud to be here and say hello to all the veterans. Thank you for your service. So as Vanessa said, I am a 28-year Army veteran, and so I'm very familiar with how you can apply for benefits, compensation, and benefits for veterans.
Can I ask before you get started?
Yeah.
When you say 28-year veteran, tell us a little bit about.
Okay,
what
so
that
I
entails.
entered into the military straight out of high school. I was a personnel records specialist. From there, I went to be a adjutant general in the military. I started as enlisted, but I retired as a military police and then a JAG officer.
Oh, wow.
So I actually ran one of the prisoner of war camps in Saudi Arabia, where there were over 100,000 prisoners or detainees.
Wow.
And I also
How was that?
hot,
Yeah.
scary. I was a young officer at that time, so a lot of the people that I supervised was actually older than myself. So it was a life-changing experience.
and you were also Guantanamo Bay, right?
Yep, and
Because
then
we were
Mhm.
in communication.
And
with
what did
one
you do in Guantanamo Bay?
In Guantanamo Bay, I served. I actually ran a prisoner of war camp in Guantanamo Bay.
Wow. And what
Yes.
was that like?
Scary again. You know, still being young, not really knowing the area, and you're responsible for people's lives. You know, so it was pretty scary, but I enjoyed the military. That's why I did 28
And
years.
when you say you were down there in Guantanamo Bay, did you have interaction with some of the detainees?
Yes, the detainees were there. I was inside of the wire.
And you talked, did they speak English, or how did you communicate with some of the folks?
They had interpreters there from all over the world that were there for some of the detainees that were there.
Okay.
So inside of the wire, you had to have a top security clearance in order to get inside. And they had all detainees from all over the world. And they had interpreters, from all over the world to interpret for you and the detainees.
And there were some pretty notorious people there.
Well, yeah, but I can't talk about that
You
on
can't talk about that.
Right.
Want to hear details.
Right.
The joke is, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you.
Right.
So that's why it was top
Is that
secret.
a joke
So,
or
yes.
is it serious? You don't
Of
have to
course,
tell
it's a
us.
joke.
Right. So, Joe, as I indicated, Joe and I have been friends 20.
Don't try to tell my age. I'm 16.
Okay, whatever. And so, Joe has done a lot of things. She's done a lot of things as a lawyer, but now she's helping veterans with their claims. So, can you tell our listeners, our viewers, what they can do in terms of filing a claim? Or what exactly is a claim? What are they claiming?
So let me just start off by saying there's a lot of veterans that have actually, well, of course, they've served the country. And they may not know that they're entitled to benefits. Their families can also be entitled to benefits. So what I do is, I know that I'm also a service disabled veteran. And so I found it difficult to maneuver my way through the system to understand how to file, what am I supposed to say, who did the paperwork go to? And I always have to go online, and going online is not a person that you can really communicate with. You can text and they'll send you an email and things like that. So I said, you know what, because I have the ability, I'm an attorney, I understand it because I've been in the military and did the process myself. I'm able to assist by walking individuals and soldiers and their family members through the actual process of filing a claim. And what I mean about filing a claim is there's a process that you have to go through in order to apply for benefits. So the thing is, if you were ever injured in the military and that injury is still affecting you today, you will qualify for benefits. The military owes you that. The Veterans Administration owe you that. The country owes you that. So I know when you're in the military, you want to be strong, you want to not complain about things. But if you were ever injured, or if you think that what's going on with you entitles you to some type of benefits because it would happen in the military, I'm here to assist you. And I'm an in-person person. I'm actually out of Southfield, Michigan, and I'm available to talk to you. You're available to come in, and I'm not over the telephone. You can come in and meet with me, and we can go through your file and scrub it for information to find out. That's your medical file.
And how do people get in touch with you?
They can contact me at 248 996 8293. And also they can email me at Jo, that's Jo .Irby, IRBY, at va.gov.
VA dot?
Yes, VA dot period, GOV.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So, Joe, you said that if they think that there's something that they're suffering for something, what are some of the things that people can make claims for, veterans that can make claims for?
That's a great question. Okay, so some of the things could be COPD, sleep apnea, tinnitus or tinnitus, ringing in your ears. It could be back problems, prostate cancer. It could be any type of cancers, sinusitis, rhinitis. You think of it, I can look it up and find out if there are benefits. And it's only for veterans. It's for the veteran's injury, not the spouse. Only for the veterans. But I only say that because as a spouse, you also may be entitled to benefits if your spouse was in the military or getting some type of disability.
So you as a veteran, like Adolph is a veteran.
Yes.
He served in the Marine Corps. He can make a claim, and his wife can also make a claim?
No, when he makes a claim, he would get additional benefits because he has a dependent, which is a spouse.
Oh, wow.
And let's hypothetically say, I'm just going to throw a number out here. I don't want anyone saying, well, she said I can get this amount. Let's hypothetically say you're getting $3,750 as the veteran. If you are married or have a dependent, you might get $4,020. If you have a dependent and a minor child, you might get $200 extra on top of that. So your benefits go to you, and then you get additional benefits. Well, soldiers know, just like if you were away, you would get the housing allowance for being away from your spouse. So if you were away from your home and your spouse had to maintain the home, you would get additional benefits for them in your check.
Wow, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I had a quick question.
Yes.
You have a law degree.
Yes.
And where did you attend school?
University of Detroit Mercy.
Ah, okay.
Right here in Detroit. Yeah.
And have you practiced privately, or have you always been with the government?
Well, I was with the government while I was in the military, in the Army. I was a JAG officer.
Right.
So I did trial defense in the Army.
And you defended people who were charged with
yes.
crimes?
So in the military, I defended soldiers who came up on charges for whatever it might be, using drugs or discrimination, assault, any of those type of things. So I was considered a subject matter expert on sexual harassment and prevention of sexual harassment and discrimination in the military.
Was there a lot of sexual harassment in the military?
Now you want me to tell you, I might have to kill. No, I'm just joking.
Right.
I can say that being in the military is just like being here in the civilian sector. Everything that goes on in the military would probably go on in the civilian sector as well.
So let me say this. I think Allan was, asking what did you do in the military, but Jo has also practices here in Michigan,
Okay.
and she has she does quite a bit.
Yes.
You
So
wanna
I
tell
What
us what you do?
type of law?
Yes, so I do criminal, civil, divorces, probate, real estate, really a general practitioner. I'm really passionate about discrimination and sexual harassment in the workplace. So those are some of the things that I did in the military, and I really enjoy those type of cases, but criminal as well. You name it, I can probably do it. The only thing I don't do is taxes. I don't do bankruptcy. I don't do personal injury. But I do wills and things like that.
And sexual harassment, do you file on behalf of for the plaintiffs?
Yes.
And how tough are those cases to prove?
They're pretty tough, but most of the time people want to do federal.
Right.
They don't necessarily want to do state claims.
Right.
But a lot of times what happens is that sometimes people believe that money is more important than actually getting justification or justice for what's going on. So they would typically settle somewhere down the line if the price is right.
Right.
Yes. But I also wanted to let the veterans know that in order to file your claim, at first you need to go through your medical record, and that's what I can assist you with. A lot of individuals don't know what to put on their application to file for benefits, so I can assist you with that, because there's certain verbiage that you have to use. A lot of times people are denied benefits because they may just put down, I was hurt on this day in the military and I'm hurt now. That's not going to be sufficient. You're going to get denied. So there's verbiage that you have to do to write down in order to have a nexus between the injury that occurred in the military and what's going on now. So as I said before, you're only going to get disability if you can prove that you suffered an injury in the military and it is affecting you today. So it's almost like thinking as if the military is going to pay you for what they did to you back then that's affecting you now.
So what if it's not an injury per se, but what if it's something like cancer? Or something
That's an injury.
Like that? So you will have to tie the cancer to the service that your service?
I'm glad you asked me that question. So I'm sure the soldiers are going to ask. Actually, you do not.
Okay.
So they have something that's called the PACT Act right now. So this is regarding the poisons, the promise for the soldiers in reference to helping them apply for various diseases that they have today that was not appearing in their life when they were in the military. So for example, they have something called Camp Lejeune for the Marines. Okay, so if you were a Marine and you served during a certain period of time, there are certain cancers that are presumed that you contacted or contracted while you were in the military, and you can apply for those disabilities today. So you don't have to show that there's a nexus or or something that you complained about in the military. If you served in Guantanamo Bay, if you were Agent Orange, any of those services that you may have been a part of, you can make claims, and it's going to be assumed presumptions. So we still have to put the packet together.
Okay. Well, okay, Jo, thank you so much for coming to Detroit Black and White.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And we're going to have you back on. We have a veteran here, Adolph. He was nodding his head as you were talking, so I'm sure he's going to have some questions for you when you leave.
He's a Marine.
He needs his money. Yeah, he's a Marine.
Not for me, though. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's Office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020, You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email textinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Okay, we are back.
That was a great interview.
We're back. I'd
Allan
like to hear more about
and
Guantanamo
Vanessa.
Bay.
Listen, when you asked that question about sexual harassment in the military, hell yeah, when I was there, that's all they did was harass folks. That was a long time ago, but yeah, and military has evolved. Where was I at?
Yeah.
I was at Camp Pendleton. I was at Fort Lowry Air Force Base in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado.
And what were you doing in the military?
I was a military journalist.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that right?
I used to write shit for the military.
For Stars and Stripes, or
no, Continental Marine. I wrote a couple articles, base newspaper.
And was there censorship, or could you write whatever you
No,
want?
you can't write whatever you write because they look at it. What I did one time was I interviewed this guy who was an embassy guard in South America, and put the story in. I was called in by the CEO saying, "You cannot, we can't print that." Security, like, it's a bullshit story.
Right.
It was nothing, and the guy got in trouble.
Right.
It's like,
So we've had two great guests this morning.
And we
Joe
don't have
was full of information. I know that you could probably benefit from it, but some of our viewers
I'm gonna call him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him.
So-
But we got another great guest.
I know.
And he just walked in. Listen at him. Just out of GQ magazine.
Right. He's suited and booted.
The deputy mayor of the city of Detroit. Come on over here, Todd Bettison. We'll sit here with Allan's getting up. Thank you, my brother.
Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Vanessa Moss.
Good morning.
Moss. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
Okay, speak up a little bit. We're here at McShane's, Michigan and Trumbull. Listen, those folks, you hear the background, they enjoying that soccer. That's the worst game in the world. I'm sorry. I know it's the most popular game in the world.
It's really
and people love
football.
it. They kill over it. They do all kind of stuff over it. And these folks is like going crazy. It's 0-0 after 5 hours. Shit, like playing cricket. They play that. Don't they play cricket for over a week or something? Yeah, right. Well, anyway, we got the deputy mayor here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
October is here.
Yes, it is.
And usually in October, when I was working for the city, we dreaded, we called it Devil's Night, when they start burning down neighborhoods and people that wanted to get rid of a car note, bring their cars over to Detroit and set them on fire, or people that want to collect insurance, burn down a house they can't fix up, etc. And then there's the plain old arsonists who enjoy just wreaking havoc. But the people that lived in the neighborhood, they were terrified. So that was night. Coleman Young got thousands of people out. It was successful after 4 or 5 years. That's how long it took to get it under control. But now we went from Devil's Night to Angel's Night. What I see it's evolved again. Tell us.
It has evolved now to Halloween in the D. And so basically, it's just Halloween. But it's better than any other, in my opinion, Halloween than any other city. Because in the city of Detroit now, from how we've evolved, you have thousands and thousands of kids that come out with their parents, and guess where they trick-or-treat at? Guess where they go? They're going to police stations, fire stations. They're going to recreation centers. In the city of Detroit, this point right here, we're just gathering candy. And we're putting together haunted houses, and we're putting together activities, safe activities. And you'll see more parents bringing their kids to city facilities because they feel safer there. Because it's always that concern with somebody putting a razor blade in the apple.
Right.
It's always a concern with somebody putting something in the candy.
Right.
They know when they come to the city, we got it straight out. They know that it's good, safe, and we get our sponsors and other volunteers to donate money and a lot of candy that we purchase. So we get Walmart and a lot of other folks to really make it a wonderful experience. And that's what it's really about.
So let me ask you this. You said there's going to be at police stations, fire stations. How are you guys rolling this out? How are we getting the word out to people that is what's going on? Because this is my first time ever hearing of it.
We push it out, and so you're gonna see our social media campaign.
Okay.
You're gonna see it on the Instagram, on the Facebook, whatever algorithm people are on, it'll start being pushed out. So as soon as we hit like October 1st,
Okay.
it's that real push, and we're already gearing up, and so our district managers and our folks are really planning. And let me tell you a little bit more about how it evolved.
Okay.
So we remember what it was back in the 80s, how we had the national media from Japan, everybody would come.
Right.
And when they would show that helicopter view, it might be 700 fires. It looked like
Right.
the whole city was on fire back when Coleman Young. And I remember being a small kid watching it, and it was just like, whoa. And so it transformed, and Detroiters stepped up. They volunteered. They got the little cars with the yellow lights on, and that became actually the biggest volunteer campaign in the country. Made the Guinness Book of World Records by having so many people volunteer in one time to be able to patrol their city.
Right.
Transformed, and we went and we rebranded from Devil's Night to Angel's Night. And the fires just dwindled and dwindled and dwindled to maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, we started having less fires on an Angel's Night than we have on a regular night. So typically, small fires, kitchen fires, we might get about 40 fires a day.
Right.
On Angel's Night, we were getting even less than that. And so the mayor said, we really need to just move to just Halloween.
Okay.
He went and spoke at a couple college campuses. And you know what the kids who weren't from Detroit said they remember about Detroit? Do people have to really volunteer to keep the city from burning? And he was like, we have to change that image.
Right.
And so many, like my daughter and a lot of young kids now, they don't remember. They don't know anything about the city burning. They don't. They have no recall.
Hotels used to look forward to that because they sell out the hotels because
Right.
people was coming from all over the world
Yeah.
booking the hotels to
And
take pictures.
Yeah, but as a Detroiter, it was embarrassing.
Yes.
It was embarrassing.
I wasn't embarrassed because we had to. Reason I wasn't embarrassed because we had to work to keep it from spreading. This was a job, and it was serious because people live in neighborhoods. When you go there, somebody and set a house on fire,
Yep.
and then the people that live next door, they get burned out,
Yeah.
or the people across the street. It wasn't a plaything, and
Right.
people enjoy seeing the
It was
flames.
insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Right.
Just call it what it was.
Right.
It was that time of year where if you were behind in something, you trying to,
Absolutely.
you trying to do some
Insurance
shiesty,
claims, absolutely.
and they was paying folks to burn their stuff down.
Well,
Sure are.
you had the conspiracy theories saying that the mayor had the fire department burning down houses
Oh,
because they
Lord.
were expanding the Chrysler Jefferson plant.
I didn't
All
know
of-
that. I hadn't
well,
heard that.
we
I
heard that.
hadn't heard
Listen, I heard it
No.
all. I heard it all. But how if somebody want to get involved or make a donation or whatever, how do they do that?
Oh, the biggest thing is if you want to know anything what's happening in the city of Detroit, you go to our website. We're gonna have all the information there,
Okay.
and so it's easy. DetroitMI.gov, and you click on it, and you can see anything about any programs, whether it's Renew Detroit. If you want to apply for a grant to get a new roof for your house, whatever it may be. That's the information hub, and then of course we're on Facebook as well. And so go there, be able to click, and you'll be able to see to make those donations.
So when y'all gonna roll out this media for October?
It'll be like the second week of October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have volunteers at the recreation
Oh, yes.
centers and stuff like that? So people who want to volunteer, do they go on that website
Yes.
and say, "Hey, I want to volunteer"? Okay, all right. And are you taking candy and things like that from regular folks, or you just get it from The big people.
It
like,
has to be bagged up. It has to be brand new candy. I'm not taking anything
Yeah, but-
open.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Todd Bettison, thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
And
See, I
we'll
got
be-
clean for you this morning too.
Well, I appreciate that, and we're gonna have the deputy mayor.
Like he came in here suited and booted, but you are the deputy mayor, so I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it.
And we're gonna have the deputy mayor on at the end of the month
Okay.
to talk about the Devil's Night, Angel
Hall-
Night,
Halloween
in the D.
Halloween in the D.
And the best
Are you dressing
Halloween.
up?
I'm gonna be the deputy mayor.
Okay.
You know why? Because that's what they want to see me as. But all of our city department heads,
Uh-huh.
they dress up and they
Okay.
have competitions and they do what we call trunk or treat as well. And
Okay.
so when you come to the stations, the kids, they're able to, at the rec centers, we have cars that we decorate. We're gonna have a haunted bus this year too.
Oh,
You know,
we
when we
do
take a
that
city of Detroit bus and we,
Okay.
it's a haunted bus, and kids scream and scream and scream. And so if you're out there, I want you to go through the haunted bus.
Where's the haunted bus? Haunted bus going to be?
We
What
haven't
location? You
we,
don't
we
know?
haven't determined. You know, we move it around.
Okay, move
Yeah.
around. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Deputy Mayor, thank you,
Thank you so
very
much.
much. Allan, join us for the final thought.
The final, thanks so much.
That was a listen. Halloween and the D, just Halloween
I like
now.
that.
You
I
know
like
what?
that. I like that.
What was the last time? How old were you when you stopped going to trick or treat?
Last year,
I can't remember.
I think
so
7th
long.
grade maybe.
Okay.
I didn't do it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
And when
I never missed it, man.
Yeah, when my children were growing up, I would just have a Halloween party at the house and invite a whole lot of kids over. Maybe they would do a little bit in the neighborhood, but not much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, final thought, Allan.
Final thoughts. I won't say. I'm really looking forward to this election year, and I hope. I don't know. It's so crazy. It seems so disjointed and crazy right now. I'm curious how it'll define itself. If in the end we see it's Trump and Joe Biden, or there's always the wild cards there, but who knows? But and then the U.S. Senate race here in Michigan is going to be pretty interesting, and I think.
Have you seen the billboards with Bill Harper? Have you seen?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, you haven't?
But billboards don't vote.
Not the billboards.
Where-
don't
where-
vote, but
that's a
I'm saying
waste
he's
of
doing
money.
He's doing
It's
a
a mon-
rollout, but
That's a waste of money.
It's
you see
Go
them everywhere
on
now.
TV. Go on TV.
billboards are a waste of money if
Waste
you
of
have
money.
1 or 2 or 3. If like Jumana, as we see out the window, I mean, she's everywhere. If you're omnipresent, the billboards work. If you
She's on the buses.
we had a billboard for Deadline Detroit. I think it was $3,500. It was at I-75 and Warren, and it was an electronic one, which means that every 8 seconds it rotates. And
Yeah.
I
Waste
I
of
don't
money.
a waste of money.
You thought it was a waste of money.
Should've
But
went
it-
to the casino.
One, if we had blanketed the city and Metro Detroit with it, it would have been great.
Right.
Yeah,
You
waste of
spend a whole
money.
lot of money.
Your
My
final thought.
My final thoughts. We're going to have beautiful weather today. Everybody go out and have a good time in the D, right? And I can't wait for us to come together again. Again, if you are watching our show, please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. We are on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram. What do they call? It's not Twitter anymore. Whatever they call that. What do they call it now?
X.
X. We're on all those platforms. We're also on DetroitInBlackAndWhite.com. If you go on DetroitInBlackAndWhite.com, you can watch all of our podcasts. So if you missed last week, you can just go on there and watch that. And of course, you can see us on YouTube every Saturday. I'm looking forward to being here next week. Hi.
Also, can I just say, the audience, we're kind of playing around with different types of microphones. If you can't hear,
Yeah.
text, let us know. Let us know if we're not talking loud enough, or like I said, we're playing around with different microphones and stuff like that. So we'd like to make sure we get the best quality sound. So let us know by texting, and we'll try to.
I want to thank
accommodate.
Jim Nardoni.
Yes.
Thanks, Jim.
Yes.
Thanks,
Our guest.
Bomani. Thank you. JoJo. Thank
Jo
you.
Irby.
Jo Irby. I call her JoJo.
JoJo.
And
Right.
Deputy Mayor
Mayor.
Todd Bettison. Thank you very much. And thanks for tuning in. This is Detroit in Black and White. Allan, Lengel, Vanessa Moss. I'm Adolph Mongo.
Peace.
Good day.